forward to that. And away from that, Taraba State in northeast Nigeria is not called nature's gift to the nation for nothing. It embodies it, and that's due to its abundant natural resources and tourist sites. One of such is the Nwunyo Fishing and Cultural Festival in Ibi, a town situated on the bank of the Benue River. The festival, which has been in comatose, is now being revived by the administration of Governor Agbu Kefas. Speaking at this year's Nwunyo Fishing and Cultural Festival, Governor Kefas insisted that the event will strengthen the existing relationship among people of the state and attract investors. Here is the story filed by TVC News Owolabi Adenusi.
Ibi town in Taraba State is situated on the bank of River Benue, and the major occupation of an inhabitant is farming and fishing. It could be recalled that the town came to limelight in 2019 after an alleged kidnapper, Wadumi, was arrested by a special police force team who were confronted by the military, which led to the death of some security personnel. The town has also had its fair share of decayed infrastructure, long-term communal conflicts, and pockets of insecurity. But the Kefas-led administration is trying to change the negative narrative through tourism, hence the need to revive the Nwunyo International Fishing and Cultural Festival. Governor Kefas described the occasion as one of the nature's gifts to the state, and it's being showcased to the world.
What we are trying to do in our generation now is to ensure justice, to live in harmony, in unity, so that we can make progress. They say charity begins at home. So we are trying our best to make sure that all the things that are there that are being revived, we strengthen the relationship that have kept us together. And the most important thing is to make sure that our environment is secure so that foreigners and other people can visit us in our state.
The special guest of honor, Governor Fintiri of Adamawa State, commended the government and people of Taraba State for preserving their rich cultural heritage through the festival. Mr. Fintiri challenged the organizers to incorporate activities that will create awareness on agriculture, health, and economic empowerment.
Having given these assurances, let me use this medium to commend the organizers for focusing on culture and education as tools for unity and progress. The combination of culture and education must be such that it guarantees peace and provides a vehicle for progress. Education will light the path for ignorance, while culture will nurture the values and virtues of our lives as people.
On his part, the chairman of the occasion, retired General T.Y. Njuma, said the Nwunyo International Fishing and Cultural Festival serves as a platform for fostering unity and understanding among diverse communities. The former army chief raised concerns over the level of insecurity in the country, especially kidnapping and banditry.
We must put our own house in order. We must have peace in our state. We must have peace throughout the country. There is no foreign person, there is no sane foreign person that will come to our country to celebrate with us if we continue to kill each other, if we continue to make our roads unsafe for people to move around. Because right now we are a laughing stock to the whole world. We must stop killing each other.
The residents of the town, in an interview with TVC News, say they have been neglected by various governments as they continue to contend with bad road networks, lack of hospitals, and potable water. The leader of Tiv community in Ibi is not a happy man at the moment. He says his people are being forced out of their ancestral homes, and all their complaints to the state government fell on deaf ear.
We have many challenges that we are facing here in Ibi. First of all, we don't have good drinking water. We don't have access road from here to our various villages. Most of the people here, we are farmers. We don't have good road to link us from here to our farm.
For the first 4-5 years, something has happened in this community. There was a crisis between Tiv and other tribes in this community.
Now we are displaced, and the people that displaced us, they are not accepted we to come back to our various areas. While our forefathers that be buried in this land, now we are kicking out of the land, say that we shall not come back to our various places. We are displaced, and we don't have any place to stand as this our place.
The occasion featured cultural performances and presentations to the delight of guests and observers. It is believed that Governor Kefas will work on the security challenges bedeviling the town, as well as provide the people with needed infrastructure.
So Ibi boasts very rich natural resources, but is in need of basic infrastructure. Hopefully the revival of the Nwunyo festival would, birth these long desired dreams, Jide.
I hope so. I hope so. If the governor wants to really put Taraba on the global tourism map, he has to work harder, create access roads, create the infrastructure that will encourage tourists to come to Taraba. Taraba is most probably the most beautiful part of our country. If you go to Mambila, for example, I've not seen any place in Nigeria as beautiful as Mambila. And their cows are just as big as those ones you see in Florida and the US. The biggest cows you'll find here. But not much is being done to make Taraba a tourist destination. The weather is colder than the weather in Jos, colder than the weather in Obudu. That's the coldest part of our country. And the tallest mountain in our country is also in Taraba. But how do you even get to that mountain? The roads are not there. Chapawadil is the highest mountain in Nigeria. It's in the Gembu area, But how do you get there? So these things, it's not enough for government to simply mouth these things. We have to see what you are doing. It's not enough to take people to a rustic community that has not got roads, dilapidated infrastructure, general infrastructure decay. You've got to make the place attractive. And there has to be peace. Peace has to be guaranteed. I had the former Minister of Defense, General T.Y. Danjuma, saying nobody will come to Taraba because they are killing one another. It's time for the leaders, including General Danjuma himself, to sit down and ask themselves, what is causing these killings? Tiv and Jukum, the Kuteb, and this other people, I can't remember now, I'm sure I'll remember later. There's a need for us to have peace in Taraba because peace is what will encourage people to come. Taraba needs to be sold not just to Nigeria, but to a global audience. And for me, I would like to take people to Mambila, for example, to see what I'm talking about. Unbelievable landscape and coldest part of our country. You think, in fact, if you don't get warm clothing, I don't know how you are going to survive. They don't use refrigerator. I'm not exaggerating. They don't use the refrigerator. The places that we went to eat, their refrigerators, they had, but they didn't
use them.
They didn't know how to use them. Even at that time, Mambila was not on national grid. You know? So
it's such a beautiful place that can be harnessed.
It's not on national grid. So electricity is a reality. And we have leaders who bought pieces of land in Mambila and built houses there. We had leaders. Obasanjo, one of them, he has a house in Mambila. You know, all of them, they went, built houses there. But the place has not really developed. I just hope that this governor can do a lot more, and he has to also do his best to secure the community.
All right.
Now, he should also not take steps of his own that will worsen insecurity in the place. They know what I'm talking about.
Okay, then let's get the views of Adewale Adeoye. He joins the program via Zoom. Adewale, let's talk about the efforts of Governor Agbu Kefas in Taraba State by reviving the Nwunyo festival. He believes that it would actually strengthen existing relationship among people and bring in investors to the state. What do you say about that?
Well, I think first of all, it has confirmed the fact that there is no state in Nigeria that has no potential. Even though all of us will try to look up to oil as our major economic hub, there is no state in Nigeria that has nothing that can be a source of wealth, you know, for the people. Taraba is just one of those states that has enormous potentials, natural resources, the rolling hills, the valleys. You know, the physics of the environment is a natural asset for the people of Taraba State. And any governor that can think critically will realize there's a lot of potential that can be harnessed. The Nwunyo festival we are talking about dates back to 1816. It's over 90 years now that people have been celebrating that festival. Nwunyo actually means sanctuary of dangerous animals, hippopotamus, crocodiles. So in those days, the people used to preserve, you know, these rare animals, species in that particular lake, which is one of the biggest lakes in West Africa. It's about 25 kilometers from River Benue. So by 1954, it has become a major international festival to the extent that, you know, foreigners all over the world used to come there. And I know that that place was also a hub for cotton farming, that the Royal Niger Company in 1899 established a cotton industry there. But over the years, this heritage, you know, continued to diminish, worsened by the security situation in Taraba State. So for the past years, because of the conflict, ethnic conflict, tri-ethnic conflict, and interethnic conflict, terrorism, you know, Taraba started losing its potentials, its heritage, its culture, its values. So I'm happy that the new governor has realized the fact that, look, we have a lot of potentials in this state that can be brought back, you know, to the glory of the people of that state. And I think the Nwunyo Festival is one of those rare opportunities that the governor can revive, which has suffered a lot of setback because of ethnic conflict in these past 20 years. So I'm really happy with what the governor is doing. And I think he should also realize that the festival will not be successful unless it is tied to security of life and property. Just like Babajide has said, there are a lot of great men from that area. T.Y. Danjuma is one of them. The others need to meet, hold constructive engagements with themselves to ensure that they bring peace. It is only when you have peace that prosperity can come to Taraba State. But I think the effort of the governor is quite commendable, and we look forward to a successful festival that will be sustained in the years ahead.
All right, I'm very quickly, Asoko, your take on this.
I was just looking at the big fishes.
And the hippopotamus.
Yes, exactly. That's to tell you how blessed this country is. Nigeria is so blessed with a lot of things that God has really created Nigeria for a purpose. But sometimes whether we misuse it or we just feel that we shouldn't even tap into those potential. I was just looking at all the festivals, and even Doba, like Ojude Oba. Sometimes there was a time that anytime is Ojude Oba, festival, the roads are always, done in such because they know that they are attracting tourists from left, right, and center. And if the governor can tap into this festival, it would increase, revenue of the state. Festivals there are things that all states. In fact, I'm not sure there's any state in Nigeria that doesn't have one particular festival or the other that they cannot even cash in on, as in to make money from. It's just for the governors to just sit down and strategize and plan, And this is one of them. This is just one of them. And the concerns of the people, which is the bad roads and all, there are things that the governor can look into. I remember the last time that BKO went to Mambila. He brought tea for us. I still have some pack of tea. You won't even believe that tea was from in Nigeria. Yeah, I'm not talking about the regular ones that we know. This is our own tea. And it's not just any climate that you can plant trees.
That's the only place in Nigeria where you can grow tea.
You can grow trees and tea. So it means that Taraba on its own can feed itself if they can tap into their own resources. And the only way this can happen if there's peace. The people have complained about, one particular ethnic group trying to remove them. All those things, we don't need it.
And it's this elites who cause all this problem.
Yeah. So if people want to stay together, if we need development, there have to be peace and unity amongst people. And then you will see how that place will develop. I believe that Taraba is one northern state that has the potential of trying to compete with the likes of Lagos and Rivers, using what they have. Using what they have. I can tell you for free,
So it doesn't have to be just
It's
oil.
also
it's not just oil.
Even agriculture.
Look at,
it's very similar to Benue in terms of agriculture. Do you know that they grow even palm fruit, rubber in Taraba? There's hardly anything. It's blessed with very fertile soil. It's hardly anything that you can grow. I know things that you can grow in Taraba that you can't even grow in Benue. Tea, for example, that's the only place in Nigeria where you can grow tea. And look at a country like Kenya. Tea is their number one earner. So
there are a lot of resources we can actually tap into as a country and boost our economy. All right, let's look at another.